All right, good day to you. My name is Fred Oakman, and as always with me today is Mr. Jake Peters. We are PS This Is Awesome, a PlayStation podcast. This is episode 149. This is a show where we share our feelings about the current state of PlayStation. But before we get on with the show, I'd like to invite you all to subscribe to our channel on YouTube and visit us on Twitter and Tumblr. If you want to make fun of our trophy list on the PSN, you can find me at anchorless_81 and Mr. Jake Peters at jakesaw01. As always, you can write the show at psthisisawesome@gmail.com. And most importantly, don't forget to share this show with your friends. And be sure to leave comments and rate the podcast as you see fit. Jake, I got to say, I'm super tired. You may know, but I'm going to let the audience know. I had a gig Friday night after I worked 7.5 hours. Then on Saturday, I ran 3.5 miles after cleaning the house. Then I went to a campfire because I had to return a non-lethal trap. And I didn't get home until like 1 a.m. Sunday, I woke up, drove to New York to play 3 hours, and immediately drive back. Dude, I stayed up really late. Sunday, I spent all morning unloading my gear back down to the studio, and then I cooked some pizza. I made 2 of them, hoping that I was going to have like leftovers for the week, but I put onions on them, and then I fucking found out that there's a salmonella outbreak with the exact onion that I purchased at Giant Eagle, so I had to throw it all out. Then I tried to watch Umbrella Academy Season 1, fell asleep 35 minutes into it, woke up Monday, worked all day, went for a short motorcycle ride, passed out, and probably slept like 12 hours. It sucks. I'm so exhausted. I've had such a long weekend. How are you doing today?
Did you already eat a piece of the pizza with the onions on it?
I had one piece, and as I was eating it, I got a text message that said, "Watch out for onions." And I was like, fuck. And then I was like, I probably shouldn't like eat anymore. And granted, I cooked it, and they say if you cook it, typically you kill any bacteria. But it was like in the oven for 12 minutes. It wasn't like I like fried them or anything like that. And then it said right in the article, like, do not try to cook these to make them safe. They're recalled. Just don't. Like, I guess 80% of the people that had eaten these onions got hospitalized. So, like, I just wasn't about to take any risk. So I junked them, man. It sucks so bad because I'm not a wasteful person. And I left it, like, in my fridge for, like, a day. And I was like, I just got to fucking throw it out, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I'm weird like that. But, dude, I also slept, like, 12 hours. And then, anyways, I worked all day today like you did. And then I just got back from a 3.5 mile run. I have this live stream thing going on Friday, which I haven't prepared for yet. And I just haven't had any time to do it. But I'm super stoked that we're an episode away from 150. So that's exciting. Too bad we don't have anything awesome planned.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty interesting. I have to imagine that if you had already eaten part of the onion, that the rest of the onion is probably fine. But I totally understand your hesitance to eat any of the onion, let alone, I don't know. Seems pretty sketch, but that's probably why you shouldn't be a vegetarian.
Well, they said, in the article, dude. Yeah, well, in the article, they said that some people weren't having a reaction until like 6 days later.
You could still be dead.
So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, it probably was a smart thing for me. I could be right now. I could be the Walking Dead right now. Have you eaten any onions lately?
Dude, I eat all the fucking onions, man. I don't even give a shit.
And that's the one fucking thing I didn't plant in my garden this year were onions. So, anyways, dude, had I done that, I wouldn't have had to worry about buying onions from a store that's selling salmonella-contaminated onions. So, it is what it is, man. Also, did you see that picture of my doppelganger? Did I show you that? Did you actually see it? Look at it.
I did. Yeah, it looks all right. It looks close to you, I guess.
No, it looks exactly like me, I think. I think it looks exactly like me. Have you ever seen a doppelganger of your own? I mean, that's like one of the weirdest.
I have not really ever seen. I mean, I've seen some stuff that looks similar to me, but nothing that I ever thought really looked that close.
Yeah. This guy looks just like me, I think. But anyways, again, we're having some crazy lag, which really sucks. But there's not really a whole lot we can do. I'll just have to edit and post. You look a lot like your dad. I actually told him that again on our concert on Friday that he was out at. You guys look so much alike. Like when you smile and like laugh. Identical. He just looks like he's like maybe 35 years older than you. That's all.
No, he's 20 years older than me, but yeah. 21, I guess.
All right. Same difference. Well, dude, are you playing anything this week? Anything different? I mean, I still have not. I've maybe played 45 minutes of Ghost of Tsushima video games since our last podcast. I just haven't had time. I've been so freaking busy.
I've been playing the same shit I've been playing for the last couple weeks. So Ghost of Tsushima and Hot Shots Golf a little bit on my Vita. You know, I've played probably, I don't know, an additional, 5 or so hours probably since the last time we talked or had a podcast. Like over the weekend, I didn't play that much. Sunday, I didn't play at all. I was just super busy doing work around the house. I didn't even bother playing. You know, every morning, typically I'll play like maybe 30, 45 minutes before work. That's the most time I usually play in a day. So it takes me a while. It's taking me longer and longer to get through shit. Maybe once the weather gets worse out, I'll have a little bit more time to play, but it's been good. So I've been playing Hot Shots Golf on my Vita, and I kind of wanted to try, and because I have the newest one, which is actually Everybody's Golf on PS4, is the newest Hot Shots Golf iteration or whatever you want to call it. I thought, well, if I should be able to do remote play from my bedroom with my Vita and play Everybody's Golf off my PS4. It just wasn't working for me. I mean, it worked okay, but like the thing about those games is that all the shots are timing based. So if there's any lag at all in the connection, your shot gets fucked up. And it's like, or you have to like try to anticipate the lag whenever you're hitting, and it wasn't happening. So I don't know if I'll really get to be able to do that. But other than that, I mean, that's all I've been playing really.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah. Me, it's just Ghost of Tsushima. I'd like to try Fall Guys because it seems like it's really a fun time. And I need something like that right now, but I haven't really downloaded it or anything. But let's get on with the news a little bit, Jake. Some stuff has gone on. I'm just going to go over a couple points here, and I'll let you speak on stuff. Since we have a little bit of lag, I'm just going to go through some stuff, and then you just start chiming in whenever you want to add anything. The Last of Us 2 is getting a patch called Grounded. This is not the online multiplayer stuff. This is just mainly tweaks to some of the modifiers and stuff in the game, like a lot of Naughty Dog games have. But this does include a permadeath, among some other things. So I say hats off to the first person that can beat The Last of Us Part 2 without dying one time. That would be insane. The game is so damn long. I mean, there's going to be an accidental clicker death at some point in your gameplay. Like, if you can get through that game without dying once, you have to be like a champion. Do you agree? Disagree?
Yeah, that's one of those things where it's just like, it just seems pointless to me. I mean, it was probably one of those things that was like, it literally took Naughty Dog about 25 minutes to code that into the game. And then they could like release it and be like, oh, look at how like artsy we are doing this permadeath mode and in this super like hard, realistic fucking game that's really crazy and stuff. And like, I literally can't believe, literally the only people that are going to use that fucking feature are going to be like the YouTubers that are going to be like, oh, look at me. I actually beat the fucking Last of Us on permadeath mode, even though I had all the accessibility options turned on and it was on easy mode and shit. There'll be like that one guy who, like, because he's obsessed, will spend like 6 months and will be able to beat the game on like survivor difficulty with this mode turned on.
There's no way anyone will be able to do that. I don't think anyone's going to be able to ever do that.
Well, I mean,
it probably will happen, but I mean, it's really a feat worth congratulating someone.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's just one of those things like a thing in, I think it was like the first Doom 2016 or something like that, where it was like ultra violence mode or something. And Ultra Nightmare is what it was called, which was like a permadeath mode. But it's like, it's like more difficult than the hardest difficulty, plus it's permadeath. Like I was never even capable of getting past like the first 5 minutes of the first level. And this is after I had been playing the game for like hours and hours and like was really getting pretty decent at it. And I'm sure at this point somebody has done it, but it's like literally so fucking hard that it's like, why bother? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, I guess it's one of those things where you can say like, oh, look at me, I'm cool. But it just seems like, I mean, it doesn't hurt anything to put it in there.
I'm the one person that did
like, it doesn't hurt anything to put these things in there, but it just seems pointless.
It just seems ridiculous. I guess it could be fun if like you had a bunch of people over who were gamers and you're like, okay, let's just see how far we can get. I'm going to take the first little section. You take the next section. We'll just keep going round robin until we fuck up, that might be kind of fun. Or like every time we die, we got to take a shot or something and then restart the game.
Yeah, I guess I could see something like that being the case. But
it's just like pull like a
but it almost seems to me like, imagine, having a car and you buy a car and then like the like Mazda is like, oh, hey, we get this super cool feature where the car only drives in reverse, and you've got to like be able to live your life driving the car in reverse. And you could tell your friends how awesome it would be that you were like able to drive your whole life only using reverse. And it's just like, to me, it just like seems fucking pointless. I mean, it would be cool, but it's like, it doesn't really tickle any fancy in me.
Right. No, I get it. All right. Moving on. Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2 has been delayed to 2021. I don't really care about it, but I'm throwing it out there if any of the listeners care about that. Another cool thing that happened is this developer, this programmer, whatever he does over there at Insomniac, sorry. His name is Josh Lehman. It was announced that he's actually building a Ratchet and Clank game in Media Molecule's Dreams. And everyone was able to get like a sneak peek at everything that he's been working on so far in Dreams to make a Ratchet game, all using their software and their tools, which is really interesting because that'd be pretty cool to have a full-fledged like Ratchet game in Dreams developed by someone who works at Insomniac. The company must be like allowing him to do this because I don't know that. It would seem like you'd be like crossing some sort of line using like their IP, you know what I mean, to build something like that. But I don't know how that works in Dreams. I have no idea. Just anything that you make belongs to Sony in that game, in that world or something.
I don't know that that's necessarily true, but I could tell you what, it's got to be a win-win for Sony because it's like Sony owns Insomniac, Sony owns fucking Media Molecule. They own Ratchet and Clank. They own Dreams. So if a guy from fucking Insomniac makes a Ratchet and Clank game loses. In Dreams, someone either has to pay Insomniac to play the real Dreams. Fucking Ratchet and Clank game, or they pay Sony or Media Molecule to buy Dreams to play this version of Ratchet and Clank. So it really doesn't fucking matter as far as Sony's concerned. They make money either way.
It's kind of a neat idea, though, for sure. All right, so moving on. Rocksteady Studios have announced they have a new game, and it is Suicide Squads. So we'll have to wait to 8/22/2020. That's August 22nd to get any more info on the game. We have no idea what kind of game it's going to be, but they kind of came out of nowhere and said they're working on a Suicide Squads game. Don't really care right now because we don't know anything about it, but that was news that dropped. As promised, Sony had their state of play since we've last spoken, Jake. And while I don't think it was very mind-blowing, it wasn't really like lackluster either. We got more from the new Crash Bandicoot game, which is Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time. We got more on the Pathless, which is going to be a PS5 game. Some stuff on Spelunky 2. The Hitman trilogy is going to be completely VR compatible. Braid Anniversary Edition's coming out. I never played Braid. I hear that game's fantastic. I've never played it. We got more on Bugsnax, and a new game called Hood, Outlaws, and Legends. And they also announced that we are going to be getting to try our hand at Vader Immortal on PSVR, which is all kind of cool stuff. But kind of like what you said last podcast, everybody's just kind of chomping at the bit to see what's going on with the PS5. We want a fucking price. We want to know what this thing's going to cost. We want to know the date. We want to know everything about it. But I guess they have to hold their cards a little closer to their chest still. It's weird that some of these PS5 games are getting pushed out. Like, I think Vampire Masquerade's Bloodlines 2 was going to be a PS5 game. I saw the new Halo game for Microsoft is getting pushed out to 2021 also. So I wonder if they're going to slowly just secretly agree to push the console release to 2021. Who knows? I doubt it, but I wouldn't be surprised if something like that crazy happens. We haven't gotten a price yet. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they have to release the console at this point. They've been talking so long about launching this thing in fucking this year that they'd be pretty hard pressed not to. I mean, the software is going to probably struggle a lot more at this point than the hardware is. I mean, China has been basically out of quarantine for the past, couple of months or few months at this point since, May or whatever. So they've been free and clear to produce consoles. And so they're probably on track to release the hardware. It's just over here in the States where they're making all these games. Everybody's been on fucking lockdown, and like the idea of, trying to work from home to develop something of the magnitude of Halo Infinite or whatever. I mean, I'm not really surprised that the software is still, being pushed back occasionally, or some of the software is still being pushed back. Because it sounds like Halo Infinite will still probably be in the first 6 months.
Do you think that'll affect
or whatever? But I don't know. I think it'll be fine.
Do you think that's going to affect the sale of hardware at all? The fact that some of these games are getting pushed back? I personally don't think it will.
I doubt it. I mean, people are just going to be excited to get the new hardware, and especially if Sony comes out and they're like, hey, we're not going to have fucking Horizon whatever at launch, but here's, all this other shit. Plus you're also going to have like Cyberpunk, and you're going to have Assassin's Creed, and you're going to have Call of Duty, and you're going to have sports games. And so you're going to have all these cross-generational games that people will be able to play on the next console. So it won't fucking matter at all whether or not they release Halo at launch. People will be bummed about it, and there will be probably a small section of people that might wait a little bit to get the PS or the next Xbox. But I doubt it, because Halo's a weird case, because the next Halo is going to be playable on Xbox One. So it really isn't a pusher of next-gen hardware anyway. As far as PlayStation games are concerned, I'm not really
right,
concerned about it all that much, I don't think.
We're getting the Miles Morales game this year, right?
What, Miles Morales?
Yeah, isn't that coming out at the end of this year?
I think so. I think it is coming out. I don't know if they gave I don't think they gave a specific release date, because it might actually be a launch title. And if that's the case, then, that would be a huge get for Sony if they're like, hey, here's the PS5. Oh, and it fucking, comes with Miles Morales at launch. I mean, you have to pay for it, obviously, but it's like, you can get this top tier PS5 exclusive at launch for whatever. And what would be even crazier is if they came out and were like, if you buy a PS5, it's fucking free on PS Plus. That would be like mind blowing.
Well, the other thing that I think is interesting is like, man, do we know did they say when A Rift Apart is supposed to release?
I don't think they actually said when it's supposed to release.
Ratchet and Crank?
I think that it's supposed to be some point.
I said crank. Ratchet and Crank.
I think it's supposed to be at some point within the launch window, whether or not that's the beginning of the year or what that means.
I wouldn't be surprised if this comes out and it's surprisingly a launch title also, which would be super awesome.
Yeah, it would be great. It looks awesome, and the first Ratchet and Clank reboot was really, really good. So, I mean, with all these other games we've been playing, I mean, Ghost of Tsushima has been a little bit of a breath of fresh air, because it is a little bit more gamey than like The Last of Us and stuff. But and I am enjoying it, but I can honestly see myself really getting into a game like Ratchet. That would be a really kind of a nice breath of fresh air to some of these just really hardcore games we've been playing recently.
Dude, 100%. So games that you now get for free on the PlayStation Store. This has been an issue with the store for a long time. I don't know if you knew this, but let's say like you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber. You get all these free games, right, added to your library, as long as you add them to your library. But when you stop paying for PlayStation Plus, the only way previously that you could get these games was to resubscribe to PlayStation Plus to get them again. You couldn't purchase them once they were already technically associated with your account. It was a huge flaw in the PlayStation Store. Same goes with PlayStation Now games. So they have fixed this so that you can now purchase them even if you are a subscriber. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know. It makes sense. I don't know why you weren't able to do that before.
Yeah, I mean, I personally probably might not ever use this feature, but I could definitely see some people that might want to, just to support the developers or whatever. It's just honestly super annoying that I can't even see, like when I've bought games, it's really annoying that I can't see what the fucking price of the game is when it's on sale. Because it's like maybe I just want to know, like I'm just curious, what the fuck, how much does Infamous Second Son cost? I know I own it. I already fucking bought it. I'm just curious because it's on sale. Why won't you show me the damn price in the store?
I want to know.
Purchased.
Yeah.
It's like, thank you. I fucking know that. Maybe put a tag there as opposed to get rid of the price.
Because they don't want you to feel ripped off. Hey, real quick, I told you I had something kind of fun for you. So we get some of our news from the site pushsquare.com. If you're a listener of the show, a long-time listener, even short-time listener, you probably know that Jake and I really, really appreciate and like the games that Naughty Dog have been making. We're kind of fanboys. But they have a quiz on here, Jake, and I want to quiz you with I've already taken it, and I failed miserably. I only got one right. There's 10 questions. So if you're up for this quiz, we're going to run through it. It's on Push Square. It says, how well do you know Naughty Dog? Whenever you're ready, I'll start with the first question. Just let me know.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So before it was called Naughty Dog, what was the name of this developer? Now it's multiple choice, so I'm going to give you four options. The first option is Marmalade Software. The second one is Ginger Software. The third one is Jam Software. And the fourth one is Mango Software. What was Naughty Dog called? Marmalade, Ginger, Jam, or Mango?
God, I know I've heard this before.
No
I
cheating.
think it's is it
You just have to get two right and you'll do better than me.
is it ginger?
Well, let's click it and
It's either
find
that or
out.
mango.
Wrong. The answer is Jam
Oh,
Software. It's Jam.
Weird.
The answer is Jam. All right. Question number 2. In what year was Naughty Dog formed as an independent studio? The options: 1982, 1983, 1984, or 1985.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess
feel the tension.
1985. I have no idea. I didn't realize they were that old.
Wrong. 1984. I fucking failed this test. It was so bad. All right, here we go. These are actually really difficult questions, to be fair. All right, question number 3 of 10 from Push Square about Naughty Dog. Which Sony executive convinced Naughty Dog to create a platformer that would go on to become Crash Bandicoot? Was it Kaz Hirai, Shuhei Yoshida, Mark Cerny, or Hiroki Totoki?
That would have been a long time ago. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that it was the last one, Hiroki.
Hiroki. Sorry, I read my list out of order. You
Yes.
saying Hiroki? Nope, it was Mark Cerny.
Mark Cerny was around back then.
Mark Cerny is the correct answer. 0 for 3. All right, here we go. This is one that I missed that I should have gotten. At what event did Naughty Dog announce The Last of Us? Was it E3 2011, E3 2010, Gamescom 2012, or the Spike TV Video Games Awards 2011?
I think it was the Video Game Awards in 2011, wasn't it?
Final
Yeah.
answer? Correct. Jake on the board with 1 point. Oh, man. This is bad. This is bad because you got 5 left. All right, here we go. What was the final Crash Bandicoot game developed by Naughty Dog? Was it Crash Bash, Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped, Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex, or Crash Team Racing?
The answer that I'm going to provide is Crash Team Racing. Final answer.
God damn it. Yep, you're right. All right, let's see how many you can get now that you've beaten me. All right, what was the name of the programming language Naughty Dog invented for the Jak and Daxter series? Was it Save, Foot, Post, or Goal? This is just a shot. You're just guessing at this point. There's no way you know this.
I'm just going to go ahead and guess Foot because that's the only one that sounds interesting to me.
The answer is Goal. Wrong. Okay, here we go. This is a tough one too. This one I had no idea. How many Jak and Daxter games did Naughty Dog make? 5, 4, 3, or 2?
I'm going to go ahead and guess 2 specifically because the Jak and Daxter, I think, remaster collection only had the first 2 games in it.
The answer is 4.
Oh,
they made 4 Jak and Daxter games. Yeah, I know. I did it. I actually guessed 3. I was like, well, there might be one that they didn't put on the collection, but I missed it. All right. Here we go. This is interesting too. This is one I should have known, but I failed at. What was Uncharted? This is question 8 of 10. What was Uncharted Drake's Fortune's code name? Is it small, big, middle, or huge?
It was called Project Big.
That is correct. Jake with 3 out of 10. Not bad for a huge Naughty Dog fanboy. Question 9 of 10. What was the name of the Uncharted-themed game space that Naughty Dog released for PlayStation Home? So there was a game space in PlayStation Home that you could visit in that virtual world that was Uncharted-themed. What was its name? Was it called Sully's Bar, Nate's Den, Elena's Club, or Eddie's Hotel?
I'm going to guess Nate's Den.
It was Sully's Bar.
That was going to be... That actually was my first
All right,
guess.
you got
and
3 out of 10.
I thought Nate's Den was more like obvious, so I picked that one instead.
All right. This is your last chance to get 4 out of 10. Question 10 of 10. Well, this one is kind of relevant to the most recent stuff they've been doing. So I Actually, I think I got 2. If I'm being honest, I think I got 2. But anyways, I think I got this one right for sure. Who wrote the story of The Last of Us Part 2 alongside Neil Druckmann? Was it Kurt Marginac? I don't know how to pronounce that last name. Was it Ashley Johnson? Was it Haley Gross? Or was it Anthony Newman?
It was Haley Gross.
Correct. Your score is 4 out of 10. You just made it. Push Square is saying that you are an average boy.
Yeah, okay. I'm pretty sure the average sure the average gamer wouldn't have known those 4 answers. So Push Square can go fuck itself.
I don't know. The first comment says 9 out of 10. Forgot the Crash Bash was the first one, not developed by Naughty Dog.
Yeah, that asshole.
I don't know
Wikipedia.
Who these fucking people are. This person's like 9 out of 10 didn't know the Jack program code name. Yeah, like 9 out of 10 went with huge instead of big. Yeah, all right, guys. Yeah, we get it. You guys are way better than us. But no, I thought that was a fun little thing they put up on there. It's pretty cool. Once they put little quizzes on there, I thought that was kind of relevant and neat. They also had something I wanted to touch on, if I can pull it up on their website, which I thought was really, really interesting. And I've been frequenting the site way more than I ever have in the past. But they have a list of all the PlayStation Plus games we have gotten so far in 2020. And I just thought it was really interesting. They have this guide, apparently. So I'm going to run through this list. So it's just crazy to think, because like sometimes I'm just like, maybe I would never stop paying for PlayStation Plus. But every year or every month they come out with games, I'm just like, I don't know. Probably won't play those. But this is the list, man. This is a crazy list, if I'm being completely honest. So in January, we got the Nathan Drake Collection and Goat Simulator. In February, we got BioShock the Collection, The Sims 4, Firewall 0 Hour. In March, we got Shadow of the Colossus and Sonic Forces. In April, we got Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, and Dirt Rally 2.0. In May, we got City Skylines and Farming Simulator 2019. And in June, we got Call of Duty World War II, Star Wars Battlefront 2. And in July, we got Rise of the Tomb Raider, NBA 2K20, and Erica. And then this month, we got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Campaign Remastered, and Fall Guys. That's a good list of free games.
Yeah, it's pretty legit list of games for sure. I mean, a lot better than some of the years past where we've gotten a lot of duds, but they really stepped it up with the game delivery this year. I mean, it's kind of a bummer that, they still are only giving us 2 games per month, where like, I've got Xbox Game Pass and I've got access to like 100 fucking games that I can play, just download and play if I want to at any given time. Yeah. But it is nice that they are kind of ramping it up. And I'm curious what they'll do with PS5, whether they'll add a game or if they're just going to say, fuck it, and you get one PS5 game and one PS4 game.
I'd be fine with either of those things, to be honest. I mean, essentially, I'm paying for the cloud storage, and I'm paying for the what would you even call it? The peace of mind of knowing that if and when my PS4 shits the bed, all my games are going to be saved to the cloud. So I'm happy to know that. I mean, that's worth a lot to me. So yeah, I don't know. The other thing that I feel like I'm paying for, clearly is some of the discounts we get. Like Tetris Effect is still on sale, and I think I'm going to pull the trigger on it. I talked about it last episode. I haven't bought anything on that sale yet, but I know Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom was on sale, and I didn't pull the trigger, and it's back up to $60. But Tetris Effect is definitely on my list, man. I think I might just do it. I don't know. We'll see. $20 is so cheap for that game from what I understand, but I don't know. I still need to beat Life is Strange season 2, the last episode. I'm on the last episode. I was actually talking with Sarah about that, and she said that you guys are going to wait a while to get back into that one.
Yeah, I don't know when we'll go back and play that game again. I don't know. It's just, especially with the way that we've talked about it on the podcast before. I mean, just especially with the way that the world is now. Yeah. Like the last thing I really want to play is another game that's going to make me fucking want to kill myself. So, the Life is Strange Part 2 will probably wait a little bit.
I think it's going to be a happy ending, if I'm being honest, though. Where I'm at now, I think it's going to shake out okay. But I understand, man, but it's one thing I just kind of want to get off my backlog. You know what I mean? I only had that one episode left to play before I forget entirely what's going on with it. I should probably just finish it up, but I don't really have a whole lot else to add. We can talk real quick. Some of the games coming out on the PSN this week are Hyperscape, Brunch Club, Prehistoric Dude. That's such a bad name it's like Encino Man or something. Banner of the Maid, which sounds, I don't even know. Alto Collection, and then EA Sports UFC 4 is coming out also. But I don't know, man. I wanted to do that quiz with you. We're going to have another probably shorter podcast. I mean, they are a pain in the ass to edit, and I don't want to go on and just keep rambling about stuff. Did you have anything you wanted to talk about as far as the state of play specifically? Did you watch it?
To be honest with you, I started watching it, and then I started watching it, I think on Friday, and then I just totally forgot to finish watching it. I mean, they were talking about a game. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like kind of like an artsy kind of game where you're like a lady that, is some
pedestrian
kind of hunter with a bow, and you're like sliding around and going really fast.
Oh, the path.
Yeah, something like that. And you're like shooting shit to like speed up.
The path list.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I mean, it looks kind of like a Journey meets Flow meets some fucking Archer game, and it looks kind of cool. I don't know if it'll be any fun, but it looks fun.
Meets a little bit of Shadow of Colossus. Yeah, that big thing that you had to fight at the end looked really, really cool. The game looks awesome. It's a PS5 game. It looks really cool, man. And I'm curious to see how that would feel playing on the DualSense. You know what I mean? Sliding through the grass and sliding over the water, letting the bird carry you and all kinds of stuff. It looks like it's a timing game where you don't really have to aim. You just have to time your shots to like dash. It looks cool, man. It looks like a really big open world game. That game looked cool. Hitman, the trilogy coming to VR is just insane. Like, do you think that game's kind of like a bad influence? Imagine like guillotining somebody in VR. Like how crazy that would be. Like poisoning someone's drink in like VR. It's just crazy. It just seems so wild. That game would be really intense in VR, I think, for real. Like changing outfits and sneaking past people. Like it would give the whole game a whole different context.
I'm curious what it's actually going to be like, though. Like if it's going to be as crazy as you think it is, or if there's going to be some aspect of VR that like holds it back from being truly awesome. Because there's a lot of shit like that in VR where VR is like, you think it's going to be great. And then like once you get into it, it's like, oh, well, the control scheme is actually kind of shitty because it's VR, or like, the perspective is a little bit wonky. We didn't expect it to kind of work like this. And you know what I mean? Like sometimes, you see something. Now there are experiences where it did work out, like Resident Evil 7, I think was a
Resident Evil Biohazard, dude.
And there were some other ones too. There's been also a lot of other games where I just like didn't feel like finishing them because I didn't like the way that the experience felt in VR. Like the Doom VR was an example of that, where it's like I thought this would be fucking awesome, and then I played it, and the controls were kind of hard for how fast Doom is supposed to be, and like it just didn't really vibe with me. So hopefully the Hitman thing is done really well.
Dude, I just hope that the new Resident Evil game is going to be in VR. I think they said they were going to try to do that. Dude, if they pull that off, I mean, it was hands down the best VR experience I've had yet. That in the Star Wars Battlefront X-Wing mission was amazing in VR. And even that one little game I played when I first got VR, I think I bought it when I borrowed your headset. It was like some sort of outer space game. It was really cool. They're supposed to make a second one. I wrote the developer and they wrote back, but I don't think that they're even a thing anymore because it's been so freaking long. But I really enjoyed that game too. But yeah, man, I just, any kind of space exploration game, I still really want to jump into No Man's Sky VR and see what the heck that's all about. I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, No Man's Sky is something that I would really like, if I remember to, before I jump into something else. When I'm done with Ghost of Tsushima, I'd really like to jump back into No Man's Sky. They added so much shit to that. And when I was watching the videos of that like kind of horror themed update they did to it, I was just like, man, this looks so fucking cool. Compared to like when I played it at launch, it looks so cool. So I'm interested in definitely trying that out for sure.
Yeah, man. Well, I don't have anything else, dude. I hope that everybody listening to the podcast is staying safe and they're wearing their masks and they're being quarantining. And you guys are just being good to everyone around you and kind to your other human beings. This thing isn't really about ourselves. It's more so about everyone else collectively. I mean, there are some countries who've been able to get past this already. Like I think New Zealand hasn't had a new case in like 100 days or something. So hopefully we can get on board with that and just try to get this shit behind us to a degree. But till then, make sure you guys are being safe out there. You guys can write the show. Like I said before in the introduction, it's PS, this is awesome at gmail.com. We gladly take any kind of correspondence you want to have with us. We'll talk about any specific things. You guys want to write the show, ask us questions, you're welcome to do that. But yeah, man, I don't have much else to say, really. You know, things are crazy. Jake, you got anything else you'd like to share with the listeners?
Nope. I think that it's unfortunately a pretty kind of dull time for video games in the industry, and also kind of in, I guess, our own sort of play life right now. The summer's always kind of a little bit slow when it comes to games, and we've been a little bit blessed with some nice weather and have been pretty busy. So haven't really been playing a whole lot. And unfortunately, the games that we have been playing recently are fucking a million hours long. So it's like every time we play a week, or every time we do a podcast every week, it's like, what are you playing? Oh, I'm still playing fucking The Last of Us for the last 2 months because the game is
still working on
long. It. And it's like, I'm not the type of person where I can just sit there and play like 5 different types of games and be like, oh yeah, I'm playing this and I'm playing this and I'm playing this. So I can do that a little bit in terms of like splitting my time between, you know, playing Ghost of Tsushima and then like playing Hot Shots Golf on my Vita a little before bed. But I can't sit there and play like, you know, I'm not going to create a new No Man's Sky character and work on that while I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima or something. It's just, it's a little too much for my brain to handle, especially when you're playing a game like Ghost of Tsushima where you have to like be good at the combat and stuff and stay fluent and everything. And if you stop playing it for a while, kind of like The Witcher, you know, the combat becomes really hard.
Yeah, it does. And not only that, but like when you're juggling 2 games like that, they're both eating into one another. So it's going to just make it even longer until you can beat Ghost of Tsushima. Like if you're playing No Man's Sky and you're playing Ghost at the same time, like you've then successfully reduced the amount of time you can put into each of those games in half for what it already is, which is pretty limited. So yeah, it makes sense to stick with one and plow through it and get it done. I'm going to try to get through Act 2 this week if I can. Like I said, I got a live stream on Friday on my YouTube channel for my music stuff. I'm doing a charity for Voices for Independence, which is like a local agency that helps individuals out with different things. And they had asked me to put on, they actually have a cafe in their building for people to go in and listen to music and stuff. I've never been able to do it during the weekdays, which is when they usually have artists go up there and play. It's like a charity thing. So because of COVID, they asked if I could do something online at a different hour. So I'm going to do it 8 to 9 on Friday. So I got to kind of prepare for that, but hopefully that doesn't eat too much into my video game time and some other stuff I got to get done. You know, still working on our band, The Flood, and doing my solo stuff. And then One of My Land, my punk rock band, is finally going to start practicing up again, working on our 3rd album. So we got some progress to make on that. So we've got all that stuff going on top of a full-time job and the podcast and just managing regular life stuff. So yeah, our time is very limited. It seems like the older you get, the less time you have for fun stuff, but it's important to carve out a little bit of time to do the things you enjoy to do. Take a little breather, put your feet up and play games. So I don't know, man. I guess we're going to wrap it up. So thanks for tuning in to episode 149. Well, I don't think we have anything super special for episode 150, but it could be very serendipitous. Maybe Sony come out and they announce the PS5 price, and on 150 we can talk about it, and they'll surprise everybody. It'll be $150 and the world will explode. But no, I'm kidding. So like Injustice, Iconoclast, and I Expect You to Die. P.S. This is awesome.